Hi, welcome to Adjusting Your Heart. I'm Doc AJ Chua, and for this episode, we'll be talking about the world of the single. I'd like to share with you some secrets on how to be able to live happily as a single. And you must be wondering, how can you say that you're married? But in case you don't know, I got married at the age of 40. And I was a very happy single until then. Hans was my first and last boyfriend. I know it's not easy being a single because of the expectations of people around us. Sometimes out of good intentions, they ask questions, probing questions like people always ask me, Atsi, are you married? I would say no. And the next question would be, do you have a boyfriend? And I also say no. And you know what they would say? Even my Chiang Kai-shek students before, oh Atsi, let me introduce you to my uncle, to my ninong, and to whoever. They wanted to be a matchmaker. And some people even asked me to lower my standard, to act dumb. Someone even asked me if I'm a lesbian. So the pressures of the people around us sometimes can get to us. Even my mom, my relatives. My mom, one time I came home, she was watching telenovela, and the protagonists there were getting married. And you know what? And she turned to me and said, look, everybody's getting married and you're not even married. And then one time I came home. One of my good friends, Juliet, just had a baby boy. And I was telling her the good news because she knows Juliet. And she said, see, Juliet has a son and you're not even married. So sometimes it's so stressful because of the other people around us. And I don't like the comment wherein people would say, oh, that lady is cranky because she's an old maid. That's why, ever since I was young, I said, I don't want to be one of them. I want to let people see that one can be happy as a single. And when people ask me, are you married or do you have a boyfriend? I always say, I'm happily single at that time. Or I'm a bachelorette, okay? I don't like the term old maid. So my first point would be, I'm gonna share with you 3 points. The first is live life to the fullest. You know, there are a lot of advantages being a single. You have more freedom, more time, more money to pursue your dreams. So my friends, plan as if you're gonna be single for the rest of your life. Because if you just wait around for Prince Charming to come around, you'll be wasting a lot of time. We can always readjust our plans when the right guy or the right girl comes along. So, set short-term goals to be able to reach your dreams. Like when you're a management student, they will always say goals should be SAM, S-A-M, specific, attainable, measurable. So for instance, ever since I was young, one of my dreams is to be able to pursue a doctorate degree. And to make that feasible, I set short-term goals. Like I have to finish my master's. So I was able to finish my master's in 1996 and another one, master's in counseling, last 2007. And that prepared me to get a doctorate. And of course, I had to start applying for scholarships. So things like that. Or let's say you said, oh, my goal is I want to become a manager by 2022. Then my friends, you have to work harder and smarter. And maybe to be able to get to that managerial level, you have to think, do I need an MBA? If you need one, take it. Or maybe if your plan is, oh, I want to migrate to Korea, then maybe one of your short-term goals would be to learn Korean in a year. Or you said, oh, I want to have my own condo unit. Then a short-term goal would be to save 10% of your monthly salary. And one of my goals is to help as many people as I can. So just like this picture that I'm going to show to you, this is with my TBSG group, the Thursday Bible Study group. When I was still at UECP, it was Valentine's Day. All of us are single. And none of us have a boyfriend at that time. So you know what we did? We want also to make others happy. So we each adopted a less privileged kid and we treated them to Jollibee. We played games, we shared food with them. They were happy and we were happy. So actually, there's so many things that we can do as a single. And I hope that even though, of course, we would have a lot of goals, I hope that one of those goals is also to be a blessing to people. Because when we're single, then we could join more outreach program, do some volunteer work, maybe take care of some orphans during weekends, or we can donate money. And Dr. Harold Sala, he said that in life there are 3 important decisions to make. The 3 M's would be, the first one is master. Who is going to be the master of your life? So at the age of 15, I made that decision to make Jesus Christ the master of my life. And you know what? I've never regretted it. Because Jesus is in my heart, I always felt complete, even without a boyfriend, even without a husband. And the second M would be mission. You have to know what you want to do with the life God has given you. So my mission is, I want to serve God as a counselor. I want to help as many people as I can in that field. And the last M is mate. And like at that time, if ever, okay, God would enable me to get married, it should be somebody in line with my mission. Somebody who would also want to help other people. Let's say, if that person is not supportive, then he would just say, oh, then you just stay in the States. Because if you stay in the States, you'll be earning a lot more money. Because when I was there, I asked my classmates, at the time we were only masteral level. I said, how much do they pay you here per hour? You know what they said? $150 per hour. And I calculated it. With $150, I'm not yet a doctorate degree holder, I would be earning approximately 1.2 million monthly in the Philippines. In the Philippines money. So sometimes the temptation just to not to come back is very strong. And yet, because my desire is to serve, to help the people here in the Philippines, that my mate should be somebody also who would want to stay in the Philippines. Second point is, if the first point is live life to the fullest, my second point is develop good friendships. Besides God in my heart, my friends help me not to become lonely. That's why I have a very active social calendar, even as a single. Because of course, one at a time, my friends got married and they would have less time. We kept in touch, but they would have less time, of course. So I kept in touch with them, but I also make new friends. Like I have friends who would go with me for coffee, friends who would want to try new restaurants with me. I would have another set of friends who would play badminton with me, or friends who would just watch movies with me. And you know what? I'm very privileged to be able to find my travel buddies, because that's also one of my goals in life, it's to travel. So the first time we traveled, okay, the first time I met them was in 2006. We went to Japan together with my cousin, Stephanie. But Stephanie got married, so she was able to come along after that. So my 2 travel buddies are Poshandi and Jennifer Filipino, or otherwise known as Shobe. So ever since that time, we've been traveling together. So if you look at the next picture, somebody gifted me with a free trip to Europe. At that time, I was single and I don't have a boyfriend. I said, oh, Europe is a very romantic place. It would be good to go there if you have a husband or a boyfriend. But I said, if I'm going to wait until then, what if I don't ever get married? So what I did was, I just invited some of my friends who are also single, and we joined the tour. And you can see in that picture, of course, Poshan is there, Shobe is there, and then we also invited Juvillian, Benita Tsi, and also Warren. So we had a grand time there. So my friends, start building your friendship as early as now. Build and then expand your social network. And you know what? Shasta Nelson, she wrote a book called Frientimacy. Oh, that's a new term, Frientimacy. It just means turning simple friendships into true bonds for lifelong health and happiness. And if you have good friends, you can attend social functions together, like your reunions, weddings. You don't need to go alone. And then if you want to learn some new hobbies or sports, then you can ask them to tag along with you, like learning calligraphy, okay, surfing, photography, baking, painting, CrossFit training, Spartan, joining Spartan races, Zumba, even over Zoom. then it makes our lives more fun. And you know what? I actually planned my life like if ever I don't get married, by the time I retire, I'll just find a good lady single friend, a good single lady friend, wherein we could just rent a condo together, then we could take good care of each other. So, and you know what? Just recently, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, shared this. Because Warren Buffett just celebrated his 90th birthday and Bill Gates made a special tribute to him. And in that video, he said that they've been friends for nearly 30 years. And he said the most important thing that Bill Gates learned from Warren Buffett is what friendship is all about. This is what Warren Buffett said. Make some good friends. Keep them for the rest of your life. But have them be people that you admire as well as like. And I am very blessed to have a lot of friends. And two groups of that I would like to especially mention will be my high school friends from Chiang Kai-shek College. If you look at that picture, we took that during our 30th alumni homecoming. That means we've been friends for more than 30 years. And you would see us in retro clothing because that's the 80s. And another group of friends that are also very close to my heart are my college friends from Saint School. We've also been friends for more than 30 years. And in that picture, you could see we had a get-together when one of my friends came back from the States. It's a pity not all of my friends are there in the picture because some of them are abroad. So my third point would be choose your life partner wisely. Because it's better to be single and be happy than to get married to the wrong person and be miserable for the rest of your life. Richard Lucas, a psychology professor at Michigan State University, he conducted an 18-year research project that asked married and single people to rate their degrees of happiness on an annual basis. And you know what the results showed? People who were happy before getting married were happy after getting married. But people who weren't happy before getting married, even when they get married, they're still not happy. So happiness is a state of heart, it's a state of the heart, and not a matter of whether you're single or you're married. You can still be single and still be happy. But of course, when the opportunity comes, then you choose your life partner wisely. And I learned a lot from Dr. Neil Clark Warren's book, Date or Soulmate. It has a very catchy subtitle. It says, how to know if someone is worth pursuing in 2 dates or less. Di ba ang ganda? And this book started out saying that choosing the wrong person results to broken relationships. So his first point would be, you have to know yourself. You have to develop your personality. Of course, that means maximizing your strengths and minimizing your weaknesses. And we know that as speed dating is prevalent, like in a room, you get to meet, let's say, 30 people at a time. You talk to one person for, let's say, 3 minutes, and then once the bell rings, okay, you have to move on, then you get to talk to another person. And then you would have a checklist like, oh, I like guy number 1 or guy number 3, something like that. And if the guy also likes you, then the organizers would enable you to exchange phone numbers. And you know what? How would you know that you like someone just by chatting with them for a few minutes? That's because we all have a mental image of what we want in a life partner. So since you already have a mental image, then Dr. Neil Clark Warren said, you write it down. Come up with your must-have list. It means it's a list of non-negotiable traits you want in a lifetime partner. Like, of course, there's no one perfect, so he said maximum of 10. So you could write, oh, these are the things I like in my life partner. But what is very different in this book is the next chapter. He said, you have to come up with a can't stand list, the deal breakers, things you really cannot stand. Because once you fall in love, you will think, oh, I can take it. But eventually when you get married, these are things that's going to cause fight. So you have to know what are things that you really cannot stand. And of course, he also encourages us to make sure that the qualities you want in a mate, you should also have it. Let's say for me, it's very important that my mate would be faithful. So that means I should be faithful too. Here are some tips, okay? In case you're dating someone, you're getting to know someone. First tip, make sure he or she is not married, because that will cause a lot of problem. Then you could check my previous video, The World of the Married, then that will be adultery. And you can check out also his or her social media accounts. Looking at that, you will be able to more or less have a gauge like who his or her friends are, what does that person like to do during their free time. Then get to know that person more on a personal basis. See if you enjoy each other's company. And of course, you can ask your trusted friends for information and advice. So people often ask me, why Hans? Out of all the people I've met, why did I choose him? Well, he passed my list. In case you don't know, I have a list. I have 35 on my list. He got 28, so he passed. Of course, one of his top qualities that I like would be, of course, he loves God. Okay, he's smart and he's confident. And on my part, I'm willing to respect and submit to him. And I can accept his flaws and his past. And I have my parental blessings. So don't worry, in the future episodes, I'll talk more about that. So my friends, all my single friends out there, my 3 tips will be: live life to the fullest, develop deep friendships, choose your life partner wisely. And I'd like to thank all of you for those who have subscribed and who are watching our weekly videos. Again, our videos would come out every Friday. And now I'd like to have a shout out to those who shared my video in Facebook, or they told me they're forwarding it to others. Thank you very much. I'm sorry if I missed out some, because when I checked, some are in the privacy mode. I cannot see who were the others who shared. But for those who shared, and I know, here are those names: Abet Limhaya, Angel Gonzaga, Ann Hao, Ariel Al, Carmela Kajukum Tansing, Caroline De Vera Pua, Christine Chow, Christy Shaw, CJ Alvarez, Amy Tanyao, Froy Prado, Gorgeous Garfield, Glenda Fuerte, Jackson Yu, Jean Chan, Jehan Cheng, Jerry Santos, Jen Phil, John Lobendino, John Albert Ong Tan, Jolly Valerie, Julia Tan, JV Stephanie Lim, Maribel Joy Mama Ed, Marietta Uy, Marilyn Pataroque, Marilyn Salem, Michelle Inchong, Oliver Go, Paul Tu, Ben Revaula, Rachel C, Trufferson Chunpeng, Vincent C, and Willens Regaldo Raiko. Thank you very much. And my friends, for those who haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, like our video, and also click on the bell button so you get notified once we upload a new one. Thank you.